Alright, we are rolling.
Greetings, human being peoples. Hello. It is me, the
Hello,
human.
everybody. Hello, everybody. It is I, the Lone Waffle.
And
And welcome to the first episode of... What was the name again?
God damn it, brain.
God damn it. Why do we have to make it so long?
No, it was on the tip of my tongue, and then my tongue just decided, no, I don't feel like saying that anymore.
Breakfast waffles and midnight spaghetti.
Yes. And I should probably do something about the fact that my audio keeps peaking. But whatever.
I am your host, and I'm here joined by my co-host, Electro Spaghetti.
Greetings. I am not an eel.
So we're just gonna be like talking for like 2 hours. You can play us in the background or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, just vibing.
Yeah.
Vibing, talking about dumb shit.
Yeah.
I've actually been thinking about doing a podcast for quite some time with my brother because we keep doing this. We just keep having podcast levels of intense discussions about so many things.
I mean, if he's ever got a second, he can come on here too.
I mean, of course, but like... Well, I think it'd be just a bit awkward, you know? We're just heavily, intensely discussing, like, fucking BTD6 dart power guns and power guns in general and how they affect the state of the game and so on and so forth, and you're just sitting there like, I don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I don't play BTD.
It's good. It's... See, I've actually had...
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. We're really getting into it. I actually have a problem at uni at the moment because
really?
essentially what keeps happening is I want to join like video game societies and so on, but what ends up happening is that God damn it. I keep on wanting to join these societies, but like, oh, I'll join the gaming society. What games do they play? Hold on, I'll even pull up the list. Because, like, it's genuinely sad.
Is it like fucking porn games or
No.
something?
CSGO,
Okay,
Overwatch,
good.
Dead by Daylight,
Oh.
Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, League of Legends, Warzone, Valorant, Destiny. All the games I don't play.
Yeah,
All the games I don't play, all the super popular games I just don't play.
I'm not really one for those types of games because
It's
the
like
competitive ones and the shooters.
It's all shooters and MOBAs. And, like, I play everything but those genres. And
Yeah.
the other thing that crossed my mind is not only that, but people seriously underestimate how much is in all the other games out there. Like, BTD, for example. Like, haha, brainless baby monkey pop balloon game. No. There is a tower that gives buffs to other towers. That buff lasts for a specific period of time or a specific number of shots. Depending on how you cross-path that tower, you can get... you can have the buff either last a longer amount of shots or be reapplied quicker, and you have to decide which one of those is best for the tower you're trying to buff. And it's just shit like that. It's just a whole extra level of just deeper understanding of the game that you just will never see at first glance.
I think I see where the next 30 minutes of this podcast is going.
No, not really. Thought I would think the same.
Is that all?
But, alright, you tell a funny story, and then I'll tell the funny story that was happening literally just 5 minutes ago.
Okay. Fuck.
Come on, you literally told me you've been going to the forest recently. Playing
But
the
those are more
forest
like just like
IRL.
regular advent. Like I have an intense story, but it's not exactly funny.
Go on then.
Okay, so this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. At this point, I don't know. It was a while back. So I mentioned to you at one point that I lost my phone.
Oh yeah.
So here's how I lost it.
Hold on,
So it was 5 p.m. on a Saturday evening. I text my friend, see if he wants to go fuck around in the forest with me. because that's what we've been doing. This was the second time we've been doing this at this point.
Yeah.
So I had this area I wanted to go explore for a little bit now, but just going through the woods by yourself it isn't exactly fun. It can also be a little like creepy at times too.
Oh, I would definitely agree there.
Yeah, just the fucking dead silence. You think you hear a stick snap.
Like straight
you.
up, isn't that every horror game ever? Just you in a forest by yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So this was like up in the hills, and we're walking down the road, which is going to get there. So here's what we have on our persons. My friend has his phone in one of his pockets and an industrial flashlight with him. I can't quite remember why he brought it, but he did. That'll play a part later on. I had in my left pocket my old phone, which is now rotting away in the forest, a small knife on my right hip, and that was about it.
The fact that you even remember this much is like infinitely more than I could ever remember about my stuff.
It was a very fucking hectic evening. I can still remember it clearly. I also have a photographic memory.
Also, just straight up, no, I won't even be able to remember without serious thinking which pocket my phone was in. And even then, I'd figure it out by deduction.
Well, also, that's where I normally keep my gear. I keep my knife on my right hip because I'm right-handed, and my phone in my left pocket just because I have a free hand.
Yeah.
And we eventually make it to the forest. We start going through, and one of the things we immediately notice. Do you know what a burr is?
Don't think so.
It's basically like this fucking spiky plant monstrosity that sticks to clothes. It does not hurt you at all, but god damn it, they are a menace. And there were bushes of them. Fucking everywhere. We took 3 steps in this shit, and we were already covered in them, so we figured, fuck it, why not keep going? And, we're going through the woods, We start realizing slowly that this has been a massive fucking failure and a mistake. So we find this massive tree limb, and, we just take a seat on it and rest for a second, collect our thoughts, because at this point, we were covered in so many burrs, we knew we were never going to be able to get them all off in a timely manner. Now, at this point, it had hit 6 o'clock. We weren't too incredibly far from home, but it would still take us a little bit to get back. And since it was a few weeks ago, the sun's going down really fucking early now.
Oh yeah.
So we were running low on time.
I remember. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, fine.
Go ahead.
I remember just walking home from taking the bus home, and 4 o'clock the sun's out. So.
Yeah. So we eventually get up from our sitting position, and we start, retracing our steps to get back. Don't worry, we did not get lost during this journey. Because, again, like I mentioned, I have a photographic memory.
Good.
And a good sense of direction overall.
And experience.
Yep, and experience. But eventually we realized, when we were sitting down, my friend had put his industrial flashlight nearby on the tree, and he forgot to grab it. So we had to retrace our steps over to the fucking limb. I found it lying in the grass. Luckily, we weren't there. We didn't linger for too long. So we find it, we grab it, and we start heading back up the hill that we, went down.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, though, at this point, the atmosphere got pretty dreary between us, because we knew, we were gonna be fucking slaughtered when we got home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. Maybe stood out there too long.
No, it wasn't that, but the fact that we were, in the middle of the fucking woods, in the middle of nowhere. And the proof of that was the fucking burrs on our clothes, because, that's not really everywhere in town where I live.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I will admit, I wasn't incredibly worried about my mom, but his mom I was fucking worried about.
She's gonna hit the roof so hard that it should leave a dent.
Yeah. So we're walking back. It's a little dreary. We were in low spirits at this point. All of a sudden, something broke the silence between us. A really fucking loud bang.
Ooh.
Now, Electro, you know what country I live in, correct?
Yes, gun band.
Yeah, America. This is America, bitch. Now, when we were heading back to get his industrial flashlight, I saw something. An old rundown fence that while we were sitting on the tree limb, we appeared to be inside of.
Oh.
So, yeah, we were a little confused for like the first 2 seconds, but we figured it was better to be safe than sorry. Took it as a gunshot. So we fucking bolted up the hill. Thankfully, before this, like, I was still like pretty fresh out of cross country. So I was able to dash up the hill pretty fast. But him, on the other hand, like, he's, you know, like, he's not overweight, but he doesn't have a lot of stamina to him. That's for sure.
Mm.
But you know, for him running for his fucking life, he kept up pretty well with me. I did slow down a bit for him to keep, you know, keep the distance between us short.
Not just.
So we were basically running from someone with a gun at this point. They weren't exactly chasing us. It was just a warning shot. We get up the hill, and this was when, you know, the atmosphere really fucking died because we'd just been shot at.
Yeah.
So we start walking down this old trail again back to where we live. We're walking down it for a while. I'm trying to lighten the atmosphere a little bit, but he was a little shaken up.
To be honest, I definitely would be too.
Yeah, when you get shot. Like, I have this gift of not being able to process things immediately, especially things on that degree.
Mm.
So it didn't really click for me yet that, like, I could have easily been fucking shot dead right there.
Yeah.
So it was more existentially terrifying.
Yeah, usually for me that's like 30 seconds later or something, or like the next time my brain goes into just thinking about everything mode.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought for a second. Hold on. Okay, I got it back. So, we're walking down the trail, trying to lighten the mood a bit, failing mostly. We get to the end of the trail, which ends behind this like old hotel that we have in our town. And I check my pocket to check the time on my phone. And I realize that it was empty. I check my right pocket, and I realize it was empty. And the fucking, like, color drained out of my face at this point. Because, you know, now, not only did I have to explain where the fucking burrs on my clothes came from, like, I was, like, coated in them at this point.
Yeah, of course.
I also had to explain where my phone went. And he still had his part of the story to cover up for, too. So, we convened for 5 minutes at this point. The sun was going down really fast, like it had hit the horizon by now. He checked the time, it was like 6:30.
Yeah.
So we decide it's getting dark. It had been unaccounted for roughly 30 minutes, so it could be anywhere. Though I did know in the back of my mind where it was likely gonna be. And one, I didn't want to fucking take a second chance and go back there. And two, it being in the middle of fucking nowhere without, you know, sunlight isn't exactly a good situation to be in.
Yeah, definitely.
So we head back, we hang our heads into feet. We stop on a block, like a few blocks away from our house to try and get as many of the burrs off of us that we could. We failed, obviously. So It was like 7 o'clock at this point. We were right in front of my house. So, we part ways, we wish each other luck. And now, I know you may be thinking, what's gonna happen now? Surely it's a lost cause, right? Wrong. So, I was formulating a plan the whole time of a cover story, because I could not fucking tell them the real story.
Let me guess, you told them you got mugged instead.
Well, no, that doesn't it's a very small town. That doesn't really happen too often. So I made a cover story, but I hadn't used it at this point. But for this cover story to work, I needed to get rid of the burrs on my pants. That was where the majority of them were. So I go in through the sweatpants that I was wearing. So I go in through the side door, which is, the main entrance to my house.
Yeah.
And my mom is in the kitchen, which I need to go through to get up to my room and change.
Oh, I know those moments too well.
Yeah. So, I looked through the window next to the side door into the kitchen, and I saw her, and I saw that she had her back to where I was going to enter. So I took a deep breath. I went in through the door, took a second to decide what to do, and I made the ballsiest fucking gamble of my life.
Oh dear.
So, I took my shoes off, took my pants off, and just fucking sped walk right by her. And she didn't say a goddamn thing. I turned the corner, went up the stairs into my room, and I was home free. I had a chance to breathe and think for a second.
That is amazing.
I went into my room, got a new pair of pants, and here's where the next part came in. I had to dispose of those other ones. Somehow. So the next 30 minutes was dedicated to cleaning the few burrs that was on my jacket off, and trying to figure out what the fuck to do with the pants. I was just chilling out in the bathroom at this point, trying to figure out what to do. Then I remembered this big old field by the railroad in my town that I walk by all the time. The week prior, me and the same friend went by there, and we saw an old flannel jacket just lying in the field. For some reason, I thought of that. So I came up with a plan. I was gonna because I told them earlier when I first left that I was just gonna go hang out at his house. I didn't tell them what I was gonna be doing specifically. So I told them, hey, I forgot something at my friend's house. You mind if I go back and get it? The sun was down at this point. It was basically night. And considering he only lives 2 blocks away from me, they said sure. Now, that's another problem. He lives 2 blocks away from me, so I didn't have a lot of time to spare. Again, the cross-country really came in handy here. I stuffed the pants into a drawstring bag in my room. I threw it over my shoulder, put on my shoes, told him I was going to go over to my friend's house to get my shit back. My, air quotes, shit back. I go outside, and I just fucking book it down to the railroad. Now, I was a fucking Flash at this point. I had never ran so fast in my life. And it was a decent distance away. It wasn't incredibly far, but it was a few more blocks than my friend's house in total. I make it down to the field, take the pants out of the bag, ball them up, and chuck them over into the field. I throw the bag back over my shoulder, and run back to my house. While I was doing this, I was figuring out a possible way I could cover up the phone not being there. And this was where a miracle in disguise happened. While I was on the road walking back to my house, my friend's mom rolled up, my friend in the car.
Oh no.
And now I know what you may be thinking, but she was actually, pretty calm about it. She knew the story of what happened, and surprisingly, we weren't executed.
Nice.
And it gave me the perfect opening to tell them that my phone was gone. So the cover story was we were riding our bikes around town, And at some point, my phone fell out of my pockets, and then we were gonna go look for it. And we got in the car, we looked for it. Of course, it was night at this point. It was in the middle of the woods. We knew we weren't gonna fucking find it. And we failed, obviously. It was like fucking 8 o'clock at this point. And yeah, that's it. That's the story of how I got away with what was virtually a murder.
Yeah, that's...
And it all worked out. It all worked out in the end because we got slushies from his mom. All worked out. But yeah, that's why I got a new phone. That's the whole story.
That was amazing.
Yeah, a very fucking hectic evening. All that shit happened in the span of like 2 hours, too.
No.
The real chaotic part, that was like 15 minutes, though. Yeah, the most stressful moments of my life. And no, I was like leading the charge that whole time. Like he was more or less just like accompanying me.
Yeah.
So like I was the one who took responsibility for all that shit.
That was amazing.
Yeah, one hell of a tale, huh?
Alright, now it's time. Alright, now I'm going to fail to top that with my tale, which is just me being a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind. So, essentially, I was, the files on my phone are an absolute mess, because, you know, you don't ever really get a chance to sort them out. You just download them, and then they just go into whatever folder they end up in, usually, because it's a pain to organise things on mobile. So I've got a downloads folder and a screenshots folder that's way bigger than they deserve to be. So I thought today, you know what? Yeah, I'll go through them. I'll sort them out a little. And yeah, essentially there's these two files that for some reason have their artist and album name. They were made by a friend, but essentially the file explorers can't find that data about like its album, etc. But every time I put it into a music player, it comes up. So it's driving me round. It was driving me round the bend because I just have, because of just the music player apps are of course smarter than you, so they set up all the folders for you. So I've just got this random folder with 2 songs just partitioned away from all the other songs in its collection. And it was driving me up the bend. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna see what I can do. Hey, I know. I've got a program called Notepad++ that can open basically anything and edit it. And yeah. So I tried to delete the metadata through Notepad++, and all it ended up doing was causing it to ship bricks. So, yeah, and then I started shitting bricks because I then needed to find a way to stop it, to delete the files now, because now they're just sitting there useless and horrible. And yeah, let's just say I started looking up ways on what this. Yeah, when I tried to delete them, when I tried to move them or anything, it just fucking froze. Like it, essentially, it's the dumb thing of it has to read the file before it does anything with it. But because the file is corrupted because I edited the data like the way I did, it couldn't read the file. So yeah, so anything I tried just would not work, and in the end I had to search up online how to delete corrupted files. So I was legit fighting. I was trying to use command prompt to do it, but because the folder it was in had a space in the name, that was another caveat, because then it didn't like that, so I had to then Google that as well to figure out how to tell it to go to that folder. So once that was out the way, I started having a serious panic attack because command prompt took the prompt and then just sat there. I didn't do anything, it just sat there. And then like a minute later, I get pop-ups saying, oh, that file you tried to run this other command to no longer exists. So for that minute, I thought I'd fucking even broken command prompt. But
just deleting some metadata with Notepad Plus brings command prompt to its knees.
Yes. Yes, that is literally what happened. So, I've asked if it's not too convenient to get those files again without the metadata. But yeah, that was a panic moment and a half.
What did you have against the metadata? Like, what did that ever do to you, man?
It shoved it in a different folder to everything else.
Oh.
It's like, oh, if I'm editing this, which I probably will, I'll probably put up the screenshots that I showed you of like the fact that one folder in Steam Music Player that just has those 2 songs in it and nothing else. And there's like a whole collection of like 15 of those songs, all sitting nicely together in their own folder, except those 2.
Oh.
Like they're all sitting in the same folder on my PC. It's just, yeah, how it looks at it. But hey ho.
So that's it? That's
Yeah.
your story?
That's my not a scary story, but still a fucking dumb story.
I described mine as an intense one, not a scary one.
Same difference. At least to my brain in a general level. Because my brain is dumb like that.
I wonder if I don't think I have too many other great tales to tell apart from that one.
Well, actually, I have been very busy lately. So on top of organising and discussing and setting this up, I've managed to just completely fill my plate with other things.
Oh,
So
really?
I mentioned balloons earlier. Well,
Yeah.
the big Halloween update drops, so there's a huge new event for that. So I wanted to take part in that, and I've got a group chat set up of other Bloons players that I'm friends with, so we can organise and play this event together. So I've got that, which is one thing. That was a chore, and that was something I needed to do on one day, as well as all the other dailies in that. But on top of that, well, Team TF2 also released its Screen Fortress this year, and
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for those Halloween cosmetics because they're the only cosmetics I own. So I then decided, I'm gonna grind this through with a friend. And then on top of that, I've also rebooted my Terraria playthrough. I'm not bothering to record it this time. I'm just doing it. So yeah, I've rebooted that
I
as well.
dropped in one time.
Yeah. Well, I've rebooted that as well on top. And then I've got a D&D group running on Saturdays right now.
Hmm.
And then
Oh, yeah, I heard you talking about that.
yeah, it's cool. I'll get to that in a second. But and then on top of that, I have another RP server I was invited to by some friends, which I absolutely loved every moment of it. But it straight up fucking died.
Oh.
Like, just one person was just too ambitious with it. They were trying to play like 3 fucking characters at once. So, currently my character has spent the last 2+ weeks just falling asleep under a tree waiting for the next day to start while this person introduces their 3rd character. And like, they've taken so long to do it, and we're still waiting now.
Hmm.
And yeah, So that sadly died, but that's another thing I was thinking about. And then, to cap all of this off, I've been invited to join a Hyperdash competitive team.
Oh my fucking god, great job.
And, well, to be fair, it is like just the Iron Lights gang. Just Toast set it up, because he's like already all over that stuff. But he just set it up, and says like, right, I'm going to train
I
you
actually
all.
thought you achieved something.
Yeah. Hey. No, it is on Saturday. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god.
What?
Alright. No, okay, no, it's Cherish Subverted. So, I've got my D&D on Saturday, and that, like, I have to actually go in for that as well, so that takes up, like, the main portion of the day. But on top of that, I then had the scrim, so I was thinking, fuck, I'm not going to be able to make that, am I? I have a scrim on Saturday. So I thought, fuck, I'm not going to be able to make that. But no, I can make that because that's going to be in the evenings. But also, god damn it! Oh, there's something else. I'm part in something top secret that I can't talk about. But essentially there's a vent...
Was it the thing you sent me?
No. This is something like mega top secret. But essentially, it's a game that like has their servers up only on specific times, only specifically for the playtests can you play this game. So I'm mad because last week I missed a playtest because I had to go to a family event. And that was like the first playtest in over a month, so I was really looking forward to that. So I had to skip out on that. And there's another playtest this Saturday. You know, when I can't do it, because I've got the scrim and the D&D.
Oh, that sucks.
Everything is happening. But, yes. What was I saying before that? Oh, yes. So, I have achieved something. I have gotten better at the game, and I've been helping the other people on my team get better as well, which is awesome.
Oh, nice.
And we've got a scrim against Toast's main team this Saturday, and apart from being absolutely terrified, I actually managed to get into a game with straight up just their captain today. It's like, that was cool. Really? I just went into practice and I just saw them in the lobby alone, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna walk in and say hi. And I then beat them in a 1v1.
Oh damn!
It's like, they probably weren't trying, but you know, it felt good.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we then sat on the same team together, and I was still popping off on the scoreboard, so despite feeling like I was doing garbage, I was actually doing okay, so I'm actually really excited about Saturday. I expect us to get fucked. To be honest, I expect us to just generally get fucked. But I think it's going to be closer than I first thought, and it's going to be fun in the same way getting clobbered by someone better than you is fun in Iron Lights.
Yeah, I kind of got, like, burnt out from the whole competitive thing.
Yeah.
After, Iron Lights hit.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm usually not a very competitive person myself, so forcing myself and trying to commit to getting better at this game is... Well, I'm not entirely sure why I'm doing it, to be honest, but, like, I'm enjoying it, and I'm not exactly doing bad, and I'm not getting too frustrated that I don't want to do it anymore or anything, so yeah, I'm just sticking with it and having fun. And
yeah, the whole reason I quit Iron Lights was mainly because, like, my skill just plateaued.
I mean, my skill has plateaued since forever. Because you can't teach me new tricks. Like, I developed I developed understanding, and I developed techniques, and now I can... It's almost the same thing in Hyperdash. where right now the biggest thing I need to do is unlearn everything I know and relearn it properly. Or rather,
Yeah.
relearn it right. And it's the same thing in
Also,
Iron
speaking of
Lights.
which,
Like, I'm...
Speaking of which, maybe we should like tell the folks what hyperdash is real quick, just a quick rundown.
I mean, we should probably tell them what Iron Lights is as well.
Yeah, that too.
So, Right, do you actually even... No, wait, yes you do, I'm done. But,
Were you gonna ask me if I know what hyperdash is?
maybe.
Mate, you literally fucking bought that shit for me.
Yes, I did. Oh, we should totally play again at some point.
Yeah, we should. I just haven't had a lot of,
Yeah.
spare time lately.
Yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, Hyperdash is a VR shooter, basically. And, yeah, it's all about the fact you have a dash button to just jump forward a short distance or jump, like, up walls and so on and so forth. It's really it's a really movement-based shooter. And, like, it's got a huge... It's basically designed entirely around its competitive scene from what I can figure out. So, yeah. And Iron Lights is also another VR game, and it's just, yeah, it's one-on-one sword fighting. And...
Well, more just like melee combat.
yeah,
I'd
because,
put
like,
it.
there's so many different weapons these days, it's hard.
Yeah, you got a
It's-
staff, rapier, greatsword, warhammer,
Fish.
a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, the fish.
Yes.
You have a literal fucking gun too.
Yes, of
For
course.
one of the sandbox classes.
Oh, you also have the yo-yo.
Wait, what?
Oh, yes, I remember. I didn't tell you about this. Okay, so more context for these people that don't understand our daily lives already. I've been playing Iron Lights for over a year now, and also it straight up helped me grow as a person in general, and also helped me over lockdown and so
Hold
on.
for a second. Sorry, I was being harassed by food.
Yes, we'll probably edit that out.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Iron Lights has been a huge part of my life for over a year, helped me massively through lockdown and to grow as a person, yada yada yada. But I'm a moderator on the Discord server, and I've also I experimented and played around with the game's files one time and managed to find a way to essentially load things into the game that you couldn't normally select in menus. So in a recent update, the dev dropped some extra things just for me to find them. And in fact, he even told me the codes to find it. So yeah. And as part of that, there was some weapons that just were failed prototypes, and some of them are really bad, like a two-handed flail.
Oh my god.
It is.
no.
First off, it's really buggy because it has a constant whooshing sound effect playing all the time.
Oh god.
Also, it's got the world's largest self-hitbox, so you keep hitting yourself with it and losing energy. But third off, you can't swing it.
You can't swing it?
It's too heavy. Essentially, how it's supposed to work is that...
Heavy.
Yes. How it's supposed to work is you hold it in one hand like you do the normal flail, and the string extends out to your second hand. And as you're swinging it, you're supposed to pull your second hand to almost shorten this and pull on the string. But it's just well too awkward to use and it's meant to be super heavy to encourage you to do that, but it's just impossible to use because it's just too heavy.
My god.
Also, the other really cool one is, imagine the bow staff, but cut the ends off and replace it with flails. It's so
like
cool.
Dual-wielding flails?
It's literally a flail staff. It's 2 flails in one hand.
Wait. Are you...
It's like, take Monk.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I know, but the caveat is, you can't hit with the back flail. Just no matter what you do, it's not in a good place in your rotation and swing of your arm. Like, you just won't be able to hit with it, which sucks. But then we move on to the coolest weapon, the yo-yo. Like, I've straight up made a bot of this thing, it's that good. And it's so fun to play at. And I don't understand why it's a failed prototype, it's brilliant. But essentially, imagine the flail. Like, all of these are the fucking flail. But yeah.
Like a mix of a flail and a whip?
No. Imagine the flail, but instead of holding a handle, the string is directly attached to your hand. And when you hold grip, it just pulls the ball into your hand.
Okay.
So essentially how it works is you'll throw the ball and then grip to pull it back in. So it's just, you just proper start yo-yoing it back and forth.
Oh.
And yeah, it's just so fun to play as. Well, to play. It is super fun. But yeah, the issue is...
I'm not sure if you... Oh god.
Sorry. The issue...
I'm not sure if you mentioned this already, but Iron Lance is how we actually met originally.
Oh yeah.
You were mentoring me with a greatsword.
Yes, the class I knew nothing about, and I just mentored you in it.
Speaking of which, that was over a year ago now, you realize that, right?
Everything
Jesus
is
Christ.
over a year ago now.
Yeah.
The good old days, eh?
Yeah.
But yeah. So unfortunately the yo-yo is currently confined to bots, but after this I'll definitely send you the code. I did post it in the True Area chat, but I assume you have that muted, so yeah.
Yeah, I do. I don't even know why I'm still in it.
Yeah.
To be quite honest.
Because it's embarrassing the fact that it literally just slaps the leaves messages in there. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, how did we get here? I felt like I had a train of thought and I went on a tangent and I'm now trying to retrace my steps.
You were talking about the Iron Lance yo-yo?
Yeah, and then before that, I wanted context, I gave context for that. What was I talking about before that?
Your hyperdash thing.
Something else about No, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I just totally died on it.
The funny thing is, I mentioned like a short summary of what each game was, and then we went off on a tangent, and now we've been here for 43 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's just the way of a podcast. So.
Whoa! I mean, we came into this without any... Straight up, we didn't even discuss anything we would talk about beforehand, we just started talking.
Yeah, for anyone who's skeptical about this being scripted, we thought of we could barely even think of a name before we started this shit. I
mean, I had the name in mind, but okay. Also, why would people... Oh well, whatever. So, yeah. Oh yes, I was talking about all the shit I've been busy with. So...
Oh yeah.
I've been in all of these different things, doing all of these different things. Oh... But... On top of that, I have my own personal projects. And... I've also been thinking and wanting to work on them this entire time. So, yeah, even more busy. Did I also mention I go to uni?
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna lie, I could spend the next hour bad-mouthing my uni, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, we don't want to take up the entire podcast with that.
But, yeah, so... Next thing, yeah. Speaking of personal projects, I have a list of all the codes to cheat in all of the stuff for in Iron Lights, and I need to update that because I missed a few things. Like, the hardest part is the colours, because that's all one big list. It's like, yes, you can put a trim colour on the metal, and you can put a metal colour on the trim. But there's also a crap ton of failed colours in there. It's like, the actual list of colours is twice as long.
Damn.
Than like what's in game. And yeah. I realise I've missed all the correct colours for this update. So I now need to go through and look at all of that. And I also somehow didn't spot the pumpkin helm, despite the fact it was in the game already. Like, I found everything else.
Nice.
Oh well. That's another thing to add to the list. Oh. So, Alright. I'll leave this up to you. Which one should I talk about next? The achievement, or the thing I've been putting off too long?
The thing you've been putting off too long.
Alright. So... a while, like, yeah, almost 6 months ago now, I had to take a break from just everything in general to sort my life out. And I had plans for a huge dramatic entrance for when I return, and I still haven't made it. It's still on my to-do list to make it. I've set things up. I know exactly what I need to do and how to do it. I just haven't fucking made it. Still. And in fact,
aren't you like already back?
Oh yeah, I'll be back for ages.
That'd be like walking into a party, planning this grand entrance, and then doing it like an hour after everyone knows you're there.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that's exactly what you're doing.
To be fair, this thing does have multi-purpose. So, but to be fair, I think the other purposes have become redundant as well. But, essentially, yeah. This thing does have multi-purpose, and that's my main reason for still wanting to keep doing it. But... yeah, essentially I just need to... The worst part is, I've got a set of bots, which I'm making, which is also related to this. I want to finish this project before I make and release those bots. But at the same time, because this new update has dropped, those bots now need their equipment changed and updated to the new thing. But I also have a render that was specifically made for this project. God bless you, Ace, you're an absolute legend, by the way. But I have a render made for this project. So what I need to do is I need to finish this project off with all the old stuff still, and then immediately make a second project, which is just showcasing all of them in their new gear. So, yeah.
Oh, also, Ace is someone from the Discord server.
Yes, Ace is an absolute legend.
Now.
Oh, I could talk about how I met Ace, but it's a secret. But let's just say we have
Electro.
talked for hours and hours.
Remember
about
that
so
one
many things.
time? Remember that couple week-long period in December where I didn't have my right controller when I was playing Iron Lights? My left
Yes.
controller. And I managed to trick Blatman into thinking I was actually like a fucking,
Wait, seriously?
what do you call it? An amputee?
Amputee, yeah.
Yeah.
You
He
seriously
actually
fooled
like,
someone.
fucking believed that.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, and remember that one thing I sent? No, like
Yes.
Ask a Dev
Oh,
thing
yes,
when I was
yes.
delirious.
You were just so fucking delirious that you just went into Ask the Devs and demanded the game be made amputee friendly.
I didn't demand anything. I was just asking, like, had you ever thought of that before? will make that very fucking clear.
Just play the game without any arms whatsoever. What do you mean that's not possible? What do you mean Iron Lights isn't easily playable with your feet?
At that point, I was so delirious from sleep deprivation, my mind was just fucking going.
Okay, but why were you
And I
sleep
couldn't stop
deprived
it.
though?
I can't quite remember, it's just, you know, an insomnia outburst, I guess.
Fair
Like, I
enough.
didn't have anything going on, I just couldn't fucking sleep.
I've been having an anti-insomnia outburst recently, actually.
Just oversleeping all the time.
No, not that. Usually I'm quite the night owl. I'm, to be honest, staying up until like midnight, if not 2 AM on my phone.
Hmm.
Just vibing, and sometimes doing projects. And it's genuinely one of my most productive times in the day. It's 2 AM in the morning.
Yeah, I feel that.
But, yeah. So I've been getting really tired recently. It's like, it'll get to midnight and like, it'll get to 10 o'clock and it already feels like it's midnight. It'll get to midnight and I'm already fucking asleep. It's like, no, I wanted that time. So in a way I've got anti-insomnia.
Yeah.
But speaking of working on projects at 2 AM, I actually, believe it or not, out of all of these wondrous project ideas I have and have mentioned and have talked about, I have actually finished one. My story I've been writing.
Yeah, you sent me that. I still have to check that out.
Yeah. But I'm really proud of it. But at the same time, it's still a fucking first draft 99% complete. Like, there's straight up one scene which is like basically non-existent, like half non-existent still. And it's only like 99% complete. And if that. And like first draft, need to go back, rewrite everything, make it better. But
Yeah.
I can't be arsed. I don't think I'm ever going to touch that again. But at the same time, someone's already turned around to me and said, okay, this is so good, I would like you to try to publish this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just choked on a fruit snack.
Medic!
Medic!
Doctor!
Okay, sorry, go on. Alright, continue.
So, yeah. It's that dilemma of, I do agree. This is overall really solid and viably, and like, it's not like a 10-year-old story, so it's viably publishable. Like, whether it will do good or anything, I don't actually know, but yeah. Like, I don't actually expect it to, but yeah,
Speaking of which, I've actually been like... Your story was about a character with anxiety, right?
Oh, that was like one part of it. Of just this character... Oh, yeah, that's a funny story in itself, but... That was just a part of it was like this character trying to open up to their problems and like tackle their own pride and open up to the problems that are constantly bugging them to a friend. So that was one part. And essentially, because I hyper get into character when I'm writing, while I was writing that, I had a real trouble writing that scene. Because while I was writing it, I was constantly having anxiety attacks. For no reason other than because this character is really anxious right now.
Wow.
That one time, I'm writing a scene about a character who's currently really pissed off. I was in a bad mood for like 3 days straight. Just because those 3 days I was writing that scene.
Holy fuck.
It shouldn't be that way, but it is.
mean, it does help you create a better story in the
Yes.
end.
Yes.
But anyway, back to what I was gonna say. Remember that one story that I tried to write that I've like almost fully fucking abandoned?
Oh yeah, I like that. So that was, yeah, it had promise. It was a cool start.
I might come back to it one day,
Mm.
or like try to revamp it. Like I did have a lot of good ideas for it, just not enough time to actually write it out and make it good.
2 a.m.
But
moment.
Fuck, I lost my train of thought for a second.
Sorry.
Okay, I got it back. So I mentioned a few months ago, before I went back to school, that I recently played through the game Mori.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
So for any of you who don't know, Omori is a really fucking good RPG horror game. Like, if I'm not gonna spoil anything, but if you haven't already played it, fucking play it. It's good. But anyway, after I played it, I got a lot of inspiration for a story from it, and I've basically been thinking about trying to write a story about a character with depression and like their internal struggle with it.
Ooh.
Yeah, like primarily focused around them, with like side characters being very minor.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like they're incredibly minor just because they're too focused on themselves. I know that feeling actually.
Well, not really because of that, but more because I want to focus more on like the internal struggle of dealing with depression by yourself. It's like a real like fucking battle inside of you constantly. And you know, I should be able to make it decently good because I've struggled with it myself before. And with the things that I got from Omori, like the little bit of inspiration I got from it,
Oh yeah.
I can make it really fucking good.
Just don't make yourself depressed.
Well, I'm already depressed, my friend, so you can't make me any more depressed. But anyway, one of the key points of that story that I wanted to like emphasize was Omori has like two different parts to its gameplay. You have the dream world / headspace parts of it, where all the like RPG elements come in to the game. Like all the leveling systems, the loot, all that shit.
Yeah, I should be taking notes. I want to play this game, but I also want to learn a tiny bit about it beforehand.
Yeah, I'm not gonna like spoil any of the main story part, but I'm just gonna tell you a little bit about the layout of it. Then you have the real world segments of it, where you're exposed more to the overarching story of the game, but less gameplay.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to kind of divide it up like that, so during the like waking hours of the character, you get to know more about them, and then the dream world parts of it, you get to see more of like their battle with themselves, essentially. Because that's what depression is. It's more a fight against yourself than anything.
Yeah. For some reason, that reminds me of Persona 5. Or rather, Scramble. Because I've been playing Persona 5 Scramble
a
recently.
little bit.
And, yeah, first off, amazing game. But, how that works is you've got a huge fucking dungeon, and your job is to just complete this dungeon. And then, once you beat the dungeon, there's like some story elements tying it in as you progress through the dungeon, but mainly there's like just basically nothing to do but this dungeon. And then you'll beat the dungeon, and then you'll get a solid like 15 minutes of just cutscenes of the aftermath of defeating this dungeon, in between plots, finding the next dungeon, and then entering it. And then you enter the next dungeon, and it's the same thing. There's nothing else to do other than just go through this dungeon. Then you get to the end, and it's kind of a way to do it, where the player will just spend so much time on however long they want just vibing in this dungeon, and then they just get to put the game down for 15 minutes and watch the plot unfold.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a hit and miss thing, to be honest, because if I didn't enjoy the plot so much and like the characters so much, I would probably be stone cold fucking bored out my mind.
Yeah, Amori does it does a good job with that because the characters are pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Especially like the story overall. Like, I found myself actually speeding through the RPG elements of the game to get back to the story because I wanted to know what the fuck was happening.
Do you know that
I will
feeling?
warn you.
Do you know that
go ahead.
feeling when you're having so much fun and enjoying a game so much, you basically take the concept of more content for granted?
Oh yeah.
And then, like, once you finally reach the end, and you just spend, like, the next 2 or 3 days just going, fuck, now what?
Yeah, like, what now?
What do I do? What do I do
Yeah.
just in general? Just my life has lost meaning.
Yeah, but I will warn you, when you play it, that game's story can be pretty confusing at some points. I remember finishing it, and I had a major fucking misconception about the big thing that happened. Like, so, when you do eventually get it, I might, like, accompany you on a playthrough, and just, like, try to clarify things for you if you need it.
Yeah, okay, sounds fun.
So you can, like, experience it legitimately, because I didn't get that leisure.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was still a great ending, but it would have been even better if I knew what the fuck actually happened.
Yeah.
I will say, though, the ending in that game, 10 out of fucking 10. Great. Amazing. Incredible. Play it. Fucking play it.
Keeping things on a dark note, I haven't mentioned this much, but you know how I mentioned that my characters like can have a serious impact on me while I'm writing?
Yeah.
So I've taken that and I've flipped it on its head. I have a set of characters that are basically embodiments of my own emotions and thoughts and feelings and things. And over time, I'm looking at this list, and I've managed to cultivate a huge fucking list of basically evil characters. And it's like, oh, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna get out the list right now.
Oh, Jesus. While you're doing that, back onto the topic of my story real fast. One of the things I really wanted to do with it was base a lot of the real world sections off of like actual events from my life.
Oh yeah.
Like just with name swaps and all that, maybe some little over exaggerations.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
few little made up things here and there. And then have the dream world stuff be like, you know, the more epic part of the story.
To be honest, it's...
And I divide it like each chapter it would swap. So like one chapter's real world, the next is dream world, then after that real world again.
You know it's gonna be a You know it's gonna be a good story. Like, a way to try to maybe make that story even better would be like, essentially, you know it's good when people who've read it all before could just read every other chapter and like just have as much of an experience from reading the book as they would reading the whole thing.
Yeah.
That sounds cool. But alright, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 currently. I've got 6 characters. And oh fuck, where was I going with this? So
You were talking about how they relate to your emotions.
yeah, of course they're also heavily over exaggerated. And like these guys are really negative. Like they're huge fucking burdens and like the darkest thoughts that just heavily demotivate you. And it's gonna be awesome because that someday I'm going to write a story using these characters. and I am going to get to beat the living shit out of these characters.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, I get to literally pick on my own emotions and punch them. It's gonna be awesome. But, yeah, all of these characters are actually, like, really fucking dark. But the one I often use for, examples, because, like, he's somewhat different to the rest, but, like, definitely the most general and, I guess, in a weird way, most relatable without hitting too close to home, is called Nil. And essentially he's just raw entropy embodied. And his entire argument is just, okay, but what's the point in doing anything in life? Because, like,
we're all gonna die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die in the end. No one's going to remember you when the universe explodes. Yada yada yada. Like, nothing you will ever make will ever stand the test of time. That sort of thing. And
got some truth to it.
That's the thing. All of these characters do have some level of truth to them. Like, that's the scary part. That's why they're so demotivating. It's because in a way they are true.
Yeah, they're like correct in a way.
But straight up, I'm gonna take another one of my characters who is again just like an embodiment, but they're the embodiment of passion. So they're just gonna straight up look at these guys' arguments, just look at all of them and say, you know what? Fuck all of you. I don't care. I am having an absolute blast doing this. This is all amazing. I don't give a shit about any of your arguments. I'm having fun, and that's all that fucking matters.
Oh, I love that.
And... yeah. Now, on a completely random tangent now.
Oh god, here we go.
Here we go. I always, when both playing VR and in voice calls and everything like that, I have a thing where part of my brain forgets I'm not in the same room as these people. So they can't see my facial expression. They can't see the fact that when I yelled fuck you earlier, I did just literally stick up 2 middle fingers.
I kind of get that feeling too, like when I'm on the phone with people, like I just like, you know, kind of nod my head thinking they can hear that.
Yes. Yes.
But it's not like to that degree, to be quite honest.
I do that a lot as well. That's that tangent. But yeah. I finished my book, right, and part of me is now thinking, right, we can get on and do some other projects now, right? Wait, what's this? What do you mean you already have an idea for a fucking sequel? What do you mean you want to do that over your other projects?
Sequel?
I do as well. I seriously have a sequel, but I'm also torn. Oh, no, I resolved this, but I was also thinking about doing another Halloween special this year. Because there's a long-running series on the Iron Light server called Dyron Lights. And...
oh yeah, I remember that shit when I first got there.
yeah, Dyron Lights is good. And I wrote the 3rd entry for it. I was really happy with it. And I'm thinking...
yeah, that one was pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking... now it's the spooky month again, maybe we should make the 4th one. But at the same time, it's like, so far every single entry has been written by a different person. So the person who recommended that I publish my book has also done some writing themselves. So I basically just pushed it over to them and said, you make it this year, so I don't have the guilt of making it all the time. Even though it's not really all the time. But yeah, that means I can now focus on the sequel. Or I can focus on that Iron Light story I made and then abandoned. because I also have that still in the works.
Oh.
To be fair, that was a great launching point, though. Like,
Yeah.
it was like the first time I'd written in a long while, and it was, and while it went nowhere in itself, like I liked everything that went on with it, and my current story that I just finished is the thought process and everything happened and folded out the same way, just more of it. And then I had a completed story at the end of it because I just stuck to it.
Speaking of those Ironlight stories, remember how I mentioned that the story I was thinking of right now was a story about a character with depression? Yeah. That kind of like blossomed from that story because that's kind of what I was trying to do with the character from that one, Waffle. Mm. Like I hinted at it a little bit in the like 2 chapters I wrote that like there was going to be some type of like big internal struggle with them.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that branched off from. Like I was going to take that as like more of the main antagonist of the story rather than the original main the like real antagonist of the story was supposed to be Beck or however the fuck you say his name. The champion of the Gold League in the campaign. He was going to be the original antagonist. But then I thought of that, and that was going to be... Then Vec was the secondary, and that was the primary problem.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do have some ideas for that story, but I just don't have enough fucking time or motivation to write it right now. But I got some good ideas. I was more gonna personify the Dream World sequences as like an RPG type game.
Yeah. So literally make Omori
like
the book.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to play it like a bit like a Zelda book where the main character in his head is like going around collecting these things. I'm not too sure what they're gonna be yet, but he's gonna be going around in his head collecting some type of thing. Then eventually everything's just gonna fall apart, and he's gonna have to face off against, something in his head as the final battle. And I have something in store for that. I'm just gonna say this. It's gonna be very similar to the final boss fight of Omori.
Ooh.
Those are the 2 main things I took from that game. The rest of it's gonna be mainly from me, with a little bit of, like, maybe inspiration. But the layout of how it's gonna be, and then the final fight of the book, they're gonna be very, very correlated with each other.
Sounds awesome. Can't wait to...
Yeah, I got some ideas.
Can't wait to eventually see it. But,
if I get time to write it.
Okay, so a few more things about the development process of my books, then. So... I first decided I had some vague concepts around. I had like some vague scattered concepts for the ideas of what I was gonna do while I was like on holiday. I was on holiday this year. It's actually over a month ago now, Jesus. But
oh my god, yeah, you're right. The first quarter of my school year's already passed by.
It was probably over 2 months ago, actually. Jeez.
Yeah, probably, actually.
But, yeah. So while I was on holiday, and then just one day, while I was just... Oh, we were on a beachfront. I was just walking by, and just something snapped. No, it was the morning. Like, in the morning, I just woke up, and something just fucking snapped. And I just went, I'm making this. I have everything I need. I just need to make it.
Man, I wish I could wake up like that and like commit to that too.
Okay.
I can do that all day.
I could barely...
The commitment is where I die.
I could barely sit... I wanted to do that. Then I was immediately dragged out to the beachfront. So I'm just sitting there on the beachfront, just typing away furiously. Like, and the thing is, I wasn't even typing away at the things I was thinking about. Because I was thinking, right, I'm gonna make it about this. But in order to get there, I need to introduce the other characters in the story first. So I'm going to actually start by properly writing down the backstory for those characters. And then, once I've done that, I can then move on to the important stuff that the book's actually about. So, and then for the next 4 or so weeks, my brain was just on fire. And like, every time I sat down, I got out my phone and I was writing. And it just went, I was just ballistic. I must have written like over 20 pages in that time. If not 30.
Jesus Christ.
And then I thought, you know what, fuck it. And I started writing it out of order as well. Just to like get the scenes out in my head down. And then I came back from holiday. And then my brain just, a part of my brain, then the part that snapped just clicked off again. So I was just fighting, trying to fill in these last scenes and just finish it off. So that's why it's taken 2 fucking months, because that part, I've done like a quarter of the amount of time I did in those. I've written about 25% of what I've written in those 4 months. Of those 4 weeks.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I write my story, it's probably not gonna be like a complete book, but more like, a short, medium-sized story.
Yeah, to be fair, mine is like more of a medium story.
Yeah.
I just use the words too interchangeably. Okay, also again on the concept of these characters like affecting my mental state. As part of this book, I introduced a new character, like a new embodiment, and straight up, it went a bit both ways. But not only did I was on holiday and it was the first time I'd ever really appreciated my surroundings while being on holiday. Because beforehand I was just too young or whatever.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I'm just appreciating all of this, and I think that's what helped inspire me to create this character. And then on the flip side, this character then helped influence me to enjoy my surroundings and make the absolute most out of it even more. And like even today, I basically just keep the teachings of those characters, and it's genuinely just completely changed my opinion on Rain. Like before, I was like, I guess I constantly wear my fucking coat anyway, but it's awful just tensing up and hunching over and just walking home in the rain is just horrible. But now I'm like, fuck yeah, it's raining. I get to listen to the sound of the rain spattering against my window at 2 AM while I do shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot you live in like fucking Rainland.
Yes, Britland.
Fucking Britain.
Britland, as I call it.
Britland.
So yeah, just somehow I've managed to just completely change my opinion on Rain just by making a fucking character.
For me, it depends on the time of day. Rain in the day, then it depends on my mood. But rain at night's constantly peaceful.
Rain at night is always
rain in the
awesome.
day, it can greatly annoy me because, I go out and walks all the time. Mainly on gravel trails.
Even though, for me though, even rain during the day is now an awesome thing.
Yeah, it can be for me. But there are also times where it's greatly annoying.
Oh, question. I'm gonna drop the big word bomb on you and see if you know what this fancy word means.
Try me.
Petrichor.
Ah, that's one I don't know.
So, when it rains during summer, also another reason why summer is so much better than winter, but when it rains in the summer, there's a really, really nice smell in the air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's petrichor.
Oh. Yeah. You and your fucking university education.
Hey, no,
God
no.
Damn it.
I googled that word. I'm not going to lie, I took the inspiration of the character's name from somewhere else, and I had to Google the word to figure out its meaning, and then straight up from there, I straight up learned more about the character I was creating, and then that then changed my mood.
Yeah.
Like, if Petrichor had meant something completely different, I probably wouldn't enjoy the rain as much as I do now. Genuinely.
Damn.
I'm weird. I am.
Yeah, I've gathered that by now.
I just question how I fucking function sometimes. Because it's just shit like that. Why am I like this? Why?
We've been at this for like an hour and 20 minutes now.
Oh yeah, won't we pushing for 2 hours, or do we want to leave it at an hour 30?
I think we still got enough material to go for 2 hours.
Alright. I've got people picking me saying Terraria when? But so I probably might do that after this if it's not midnight. Even then again I might do it because it's midnight. But yeah.
So what type of shit's been going on in daily life? Just, other day-to-day occurrences.
Well, other than just screaming about projects and being in so many cool clubs at once, I've had university. And
yeah.
because I'm in my second year now, and because I was in lockdown for the entirety of the first year, I got to know nobody. Like, I did not connect with anyone at uni whatsoever. So I'm really fucking glad that this year, straight up I don't know how or why or what, but I actively downloaded some social media apps just to connect with these people. But even that aside, we've just, the group of students on the same course with me, we've just stuck together. And I don't know how, or like how we got here, but it's awesome.
Nice.
'Cause, like, as far as I can tell, we don't have any shared interests or anything. We just stand on the same course. And genuinely.
Sometimes the best friendships you can have are the ones where you don't really know how the fuck you got them in the first place.
Yeah. But then again, on the flip side is, because we have like completely different opinions and enjoyment of things, we just it's hard to just yeah. Because one of the closest friends I've made, like, we were talking about music the other day, and for me, I'm listening to game OSTs because I just love them, and I'm listening to them in game anyway, and I love them so much there, so I'd start listening to them out of game. So I'm doing that, and because of that, I have a very wide taste in music. Because one game's OST might be electronic stuff, another one might be rock, another one might be string heavy. So it can span all of them. And I like all of them. And I also...
Bass go brrr.
Yes. And I also have some music taste I've gained from my dad. Because he just has a huge fucking speaker system. I've just had to grow up with him blasting his tunes for him. But
I feel that.
yeah, if there's two genres I don't like, it's modern pop and modern rap. Because
yeah.
essentially it just feels so vapid and empty. And yeah, this friend of mine just listens to modern rap. And I'm not going to lie, how can you even call it a rap if there isn't any rhyming? How can you call it a rap when it's not even got any pace to it?
Yeah.
It's just him going, yeah, Yeah, I'm so cool. No. No. Oh my god, the actual lyrics, what lyrics there are, just make no sense as well.
Oh my god, that's like every fucking rap song
No.
I've ever heard.
What is it? So, he's rapping about how a girl turned him down because the girl is lesbian. So he says, no way, I'm lesbian too. Like, what? He says that he's a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
It's just... First off, I hate it because it's a concept of... You've been rejected. Like, this person has politely rejected you, and you're still trying to push yourselves on them. First off, fuck off. Stop doing that. And second off, you don't even know what you just said, do you? And he's made a fucking rap about it. It's like... My god. It's just... yeah. So, I really like this guy, and he's been struggling in a lot of subjects, so I've also been helping him through it and teaching him and so on. And like, I want to spend more time with him, get to know him, chill with him. But at the same time, like, oh my god, the music tastes are just too painful. Also, actually, that brings me on to something else I've been wanting to do. So, first off, my YouTube YouTube subscription box is an absolute mess because I'm subscribed to too many channels, and I don't even watch half this content anymore. But maybe someday I'm going to get back into some of this content, and then I'll just probably have a huge fucking backlog I'll just binge watch. It's like I've got Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey challenge runs. And challenge speed runs. And yeah, like, I love to watch them back in the day, but like, I don't watch them anymore now. If I do ever get back to them, I want to stay subscribed so I just have that massive backlog just at my fingertips. So, yeah. So, on top of that, and on top of everything else going on in my life, I do want to watch all of those stuff at some point. I haven't exactly lost interest. It's just it's too low on my priority list to care.
Yeah.
And something else I've been really meaning to do is finding some more animes to watch. Because I know they're good. I have a genuine interest in watching them. Just learning more about it. I hear other people talk about it all the time. I'd like to know a bit more and be able to join in those conversations. That's just a plot. That's just a small plus on the side, of course. So it's just like, right, I want to do that as well. But because I've got so much else going on, I just never have the time to sit down and watch anime. Just always have something going on.
So, do you have like a refined taste for anime yet, or are you still like just starting?
I'm still just starting out.
Okay, this is really the only appropriate time that you could like kind of enjoy this anime. Sword Art Online, when you're starting out, you think it's good, but for, you know, more avid people, it's fucking hot garbage.
Okay.
Really, the only watchable one that I can like even stomach anymore is the last season of it.
Okay.
Like, I can't even watch the first bit of it now, since I've gotten more into anime. But if you're just starting out, like, you don't really have a taste for it yet. So, it just kind of works.
Yeah, I have been given other recommendations, and once again, shout-outs to my uni friends for just being nice, friendly people, and just, yeah, being a friend group. Because, they've pointed me at a good site to watch anime on. So I now have a source. I just need to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Uni life itself has been quite interesting. So, I mentioned a while back that I needed to sort out my life. I had to take a break from everything to sort out my life. Basically, I had a lot of trouble with my first year at uni because, yeah, a lot of things went wrong. Because it was just online and poorly organised. And I essentially needed to just I did it in the end, by the way, but I straight up was basically taking the entire year within like 4 months.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed with that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I even fucking procrastinated some of that shit as well.
damn.
Yeah, towards the end I was even doing some fucking procrastinating some of that.
Yeah, I remember that one time you sent us like the email that you got saying that you failed.
Oh yeah, that's just one example of just how fucked up everything was. Because like they sent out an automated email saying you failed the year, and it was because
You failed.
Yeah,
but you didn't.
and I had failed because I had deferred some of the exams and was going to take them later. So I have passed the year. I've definitely passed the year because I crushed those fucking exams like a piece of paper.
Nice.
But yeah, the fact that they sent out an email that said you failed, just automatically, like that was a fucking heart attack and a half.
I will admit, when I saw that, I kind of had one too, because like I know the feeling of that.
So yeah. So this year, one of the biggest things that stressed me out so much was the timetables. And this year, it's marginally better, but it's copeable. It's now definitely something I can cope more with. Because last year was physically insane and might not have even been legal, to be honest. But this year, it's definitely much more copeable. And what it means, because of how it's set up, I have all of Thursdays and Fridays off. So, yeah. That's why, when I'm done with this, I'm going to be playing Terraria at midnight with the boys. Because nothing's going to stop me. It's the weekend.
Another plus from this year, you organized your time a lot better. Like,
yeah.
You got a schedule now.
Oh, to be fair, I did have something like that in the Yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, if you did have one, it fell apart real fucking quick.
Yeah. I remember I had, like, Tuesday, I had stuff on entirely only on Monday and Wednesday. So Tuesday was ended up being the ultimate procrastination day. So I just didn't feel like working from home, but it's like, right, it's still in the middle of the school week, I should probably do some work. But essentially, another reason why this timetable is so much better is because I actually have fucking breaks in my day now.
Yeah.
First off, I can actually eat. But also at the same time, I have opportunities to spend time to focus and study in uni. So I can get a lot of work done there, and it makes my procrastinating at home a whole lot less of an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've still got a full 4-day weekend, so it's Thursday night right now, and it feels like the weekend. Basically, is the weekend, and I'm treating it like the weekend.
Basically, yeah.
Like, of course, I still need to. The only thing I need to be wary about is other people who need to get up in the morning.
Yeah. Me personally, I've been rethinking my life plans recently.
Oh, damn.
Since, I just entered high school.
Oh, yeah.
So remember how I told you, like, how I was very unsure of what the fuck I wanted to do after learning about the true nature of game development?
Yeah.
I'd been doing some thinking now, and I have a new plan that could potentially change, but I'm actually, like, kind of content with it, being an auto mechanic. Going to trade school after I graduate, and,
Okay.
just making a living. Because, like, I realize that just in general, the true horrors of working in an office. The fact that nothing happens.
Oh, I have a funny story about that. Office life isn't as bad because you've got your co-workers around you and you can hang out with them a bit while you're on the job.
Yeah, true, but like the job itself is most likely fucking monotonous.
Oh yeah.
And like I don't want to spend the next 40 years of my life doing that shit.
Mood. Okay. I must have been like 16 at the time, but I've straight up already had a midlife crisis about that.
Yeah, hell, like you're gonna have to pick your path soon. You gotta fucking stick to it or die.
No, the fact that I see my dad getting constantly hyper stressed out by work and so on, and I'm thinking, I've got 40 years of that ahead of me. 40 years of basically being pushed to breaking point, doing an incredibly shitty job. I've got
fucking mood.
Yeah, I've got 40 years of that ahead of me. I got a fucking midlife crisis from that at the age of 16.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I have always enjoyed fixing things to a degree. To a degree, like, you know, puzzles and shit, that too. And it's like, you know, I think it's just like a primitive man thing, but like, I just want to do things with my hands, you know, like build something, fix something.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's a very useful skill to have in general as well.
That's, to be honest, one of my favourite parts about electronics. Because
you get to actually do something.
Yeah, I have a kit, and recently I've been learning how to use the LCD screen for that kit. So I'm going all the way. I'm programming LCD screens. I'm simulating traffic lights. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm plugging in wires everywhere and writing code. It's fun.
Yeah, that does sound pretty enjoyable too. Yeah. But you know.
But yeah, it's
And also, you want to know one of the great things about trade school?
What?
You don't need to bust your ass getting it like incredible grades and test scores to get in. Like you just like graduate high school with a diploma or a GED, and then you're just like, hey, I want it, and it's like, come on in. You know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I got a good brain in my skull, but I don't got the motivation to use it half the time since I'm so exhausted.
Yes. Always.
Like, I'm getting straight A's effortlessly right now, but like, you know, I haven't even lifted a finger yet.
I definitely know that feeling as well.
Yeah, just like breezing through everything in your path.
To be honest, I remember at my GCSEs, I thought I was breezing through everything, but I really wasn't. Because I had taken history, but essentially all that went in one ear and out the other, and it just turned into a fucking documentary class. Like, I was treating the entire fucking subject as a documentary. So when it came to the exam, I failed epically. And I hated English as a subject. So I was struggling with that. But like, maths, science, fucking dropkick that shit. Just crushed it.
I mean, I will say, when you actually know what the fuck you're doing in math, it can be a little fun.
Yes.
When you know what you're doing. For the past, like, 2 years, I have not known what the fuck I was doing. Yeah, I told you a while back about that one time I nearly failed math in 7th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my shitty math teacher. Couldn't teach for shit.
Yeah. I'm getting a lot of that now.
Yeah.
Imagine a teacher who doesn't... first off, imagine 3-hour lessons.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. But, essentially how that works is they split it up, so like I'll have the same module multiple times a week. Like I'll have a lecture and a tutorial where we go over the lecture's for learning, the tutorial is more like sitting down doing the questions. Or I might have a lab session where we do the fun hands-on stuff. And for this, last year was an absolute hectic mess as I was constantly running between different lessons or tutorials. But this year they decided to just say fuck it, and the tutorials are right after the lectures. Like every single time, except for one lesson.
20 minutes left.
Okay. I better start talking faster then.
Yeah, faster!
But, yeah.
Don't worry, we can go a bit over.
Yeah, of course,
we need
like,
to.
why do we... It's an arbitrary time limit anyway. But, yeah, essentially, because the lectures are right after the because the tutorials are right after the lectures, the teachers just treat it like a one giant lesson. Because same room, same teacher, just different purpose of time in the room. Or in theory. But it never ends up working like that. They just treat it like one giant lecture. Or rather, should I say one giant tutorial? Because straight up, yeah, I have one lecture which I'm lucky to be an hour, to be 2.5 hours instead of 3. But the main thing with that is that it's 2.5 hours of 10 questions. And we aren't going to learn the maths. Essentially how it goes is you space out for the first like 3 questions, because it's absolutely piss easy. And then you blink, look at the 4th question and you go, oh, I don't know how to do that. I'll have a look at the notes that have already been uploaded, or look at what the teacher's written down. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like the notes, the lecture notes, the thing you're supposed to look back on after the lecture and be like, remind me what we did then, is literally just the fucking questions.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. And how it works is that when the teacher decides to go through the question, then she will tell you what, then she'll spend 5 minutes just like teaching you the thing you need to know to solve the question. It is terrible to say the least.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too nice.
Yeah, and I could keep going. Because that's just one lesson of this year. I have all the shit from last year that I could mention, and take another hour to do so. Still
I mean, hey, on the bright side, at least you survived that shit from last year.
And I know I can survive it, and yeah.
Exactly.
Again, in a weird way.
See, that whole Celeste mindset's really paying off. If you can do it once, you can do it again.
Oh yeah. But in a way, it's funny. Out of everything that happened last year, like, between lockdown and basically being socially isolated from everyone I know and being unable to meet new people, having an absolutely atrocious year, even worse than what I just described. Having that as well, and just despite all of that, and despite hitting a huge negative spiral at one point, and just getting so stressed out about my uni work and so on, I physically gained a bald spot. Despite all that, I'm really thankful for what happened last year, because I just grew massively as a person.
Yeah, pain makes us stronger.
Not just that, but because I had my VR headset, because I started properly connecting to people online and coming out of my shell and talking, I am now able to apply that to real life as well. And also just, I might not have been able to meet my IRL friends or make any new ones, but I made a huge set of friends all over the world online instead. Like you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, shit's just been, pretty usual for me. Just, dealing with just surviving high school. Though I have been getting into a little bit of drama with some of my friends lately. I don't really want to go into it right now, but...
Oh yeah, I think you've,
yeah,
I think you vaguely mentioned some of it before.
yeah, I did. I might go into it with you later.
Yeah, but not
Like,
something you want to
off-
complain about on
Off the
a
video,
podcast.
but... Yeah.
I think, to be honest, for me, I just talk. I never think about what I'm saying. I just say words.
Yeah, that's normally what I do too.
And, like-
what I do too, but with this situation,
Yeah.
I'd rather not talk
Yeah,
about it in public
it's something
like
you've already
this.
thought about, so you're keeping on thinking about it. But I do that a lot. I end up stepping in it so often. Just because, like, I've said things that I probably shouldn't have said, or even in some cases, missed out something I probably should have said. I just
Yeah.
end up in trouble, so it's always because of that. So, yeah. How much time do we have left? 15 minutes.
We have roughly 14 minutes.
I've got 2 hours of audio I need to edit. Oh, there's a cut I need to make somewhere through here as well. Spoilers. And
Oh yeah, that too.
well, technically
That was
spoilers.
around that was in between 30 and 40 minutes to narrow it
Okay,
down
I'm not
for
going to
you.
remember that fact.
I think it was like the 37 mark, somewhere around there.
But yeah, I'm gonna need to edit this all up. It shouldn't be that hard. I just need
Yeah.
to make sure I've synced the audio properly.
Yeah, and then made that one little cut.
Yeah. And then I need to, like... Then it's still a video, so I need to, like, put some video elements to it. It's like, I'm gonna need to, like, find a fucking... just find a stock screensaver to just play on loop for 2 hours.
I mean, for me, if you can just like find me like a nice picture to put up, if anything, like that should be good.
Yeah,
enough
just
for
like
me.
the stock, just like a pretty background. Like, I might toss up
Yeah, like,
pictures and
backdrop,
so on.
Basically.
I'll probably end up just tossing up random pictures and so on. Like, maybe like one of my
Yeah.
bald spot or something. Just like...
You say that for years, mate.
See, that's funny. Like, on one hand, I am self-conscious about it, and part of me always is questioning, like, oh, are these people... Because it's grown over again now, but the hair is still grey, and it's gonna permanently remain grey. But I keep thinking about it, thinking like, oh, do people actually notice it? Is it obvious or anything? And so yeah, I'm constantly going through that, but at the same time, I don't care. Because, like, from the moment I learned it was there, I'd almost treated it as a novelty. Like, that's how I just got through it and coped with it.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I don't want to mention it because people might not have noticed it and I don't want to draw attention to it and so on and so forth. On the other hand, hee hoo funny bald spot.
Yeah.
The duality of man.
Oh, also, to finish off the last, like, 11 minutes
Yes,
of this?
just 11 minutes of awkward silence.
For the last few weeks, I've been channeling my inner American and going trap shooting.
Oh yeah.
Every Thursday. We were planning to do this, like, start doing this 2 weeks ago, but then, trap shooting on Thursdays, and you're, like, kind of busy on other days. The schedules just didn't really align, but now it's over. Yeah, and I wasn't that terrible at it. Like, I was able to hit things, but I was not nearly as good as some of the more experienced people.
Yes. Sounds like me playing Hyper Dash. Just
Yeah, for first time ever shooting an actual gun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've also got that to deal with. Whereas I've just got to mash buttons on the controller.
I mean, I've got to say, it was actually pretty fun. And if you ever do pick up a gun in your life, Electro, don't worry about accidentally shooting someone. You've either got to do it intentionally or be a fucking royal idiot to pull it off.
Okay. What if I said I've already picked up a gun?
Wait, what?
What if I can barely remember it, but what if I said I've already picked up a gun, done some shooting with it like years and years ago? And what if I said
really?
I've also already used a bow multiple times?
Okay.
What if I also said
a gun.
I've ridden a quad bike?
You've done more American shit than the American here.
And
What the fuck?
And I did all of that, like, oh, let's see, at least... No, 4 years ago was the end of GCSE. Which was year 11. I did that in year 6. How long ago was that? Brain, go. It's 4 plus 5, I think. Yes. So that's like 9 years ago was when I did that archery. And I'm fairly certain, I was like, Jesus, I was 10 at the time. Yeah. I'm fairly certain I was, I don't think it was the same year, but like, it was almost certainly before then. And certainly before I did the archery, I did the quad biking and shooting. So 9-year-old me has done more American things, or 10-year-old me has done more American things than you.
Damn. So how was the shooting experience, if you can remember?
It's very, very vague. But, it was an indoor range. I remember that much. It was like a wood hut. It was like one fucking gun between 10 people. Like two guns between 10 people. And, I'm not sure how good I was at it. I remember being good at the archery because I hit a bullseye. At least once.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you Brits and your fucking bows and arrows. Like, you've had them for centuries now.
Oh, yeah, like... Oh, the longbows back in, 100 Years' War. Just, like... The French are touting about all of their, for the time, automatic crossbows. And then here's our fucking absolute units of archers with their fucking longbows.
Yeah. You're basically, like, holding a fucking ballista at that point.
That, to be fair, a ballista is crossbow is a miniature ballista more than anything else. But I've seen a longbow. Right. Oh god, I think these days it would still be, like, as big as me. Like, they are fucking huge. And, like...
Wait, how tall are you?
Yes. 5'6" or something.
6?
Yeah, I think.
So then I'm not that much shorter than you, because I'm 5'10".
That was... No, I said 5'6". Nah, no, hold on, I'm totally thought that. I might be 5'11". I don't know. I checked it once, but like, I just don't know anymore. I stopped paying attention to it. It's not saying you can easily measure.
Yeah, I just had a physical done a few months ago on me for school, so I know my height and weight exactly.
So yeah, like these bows are like, I'd say at least 5 foot big.
Basically like 6 feet.
Yeah, like 5 or 6 feet big, and yeah, of course that makes them incredibly hard to pull back. And we had like armies of archers with these things.
Well, if you hit someone with it, it's going clean through them.
Oh yeah, those were like absolute beasts of bows.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also, seriously, riding a quad bike at the age of 9. Like, upon reflection, I'm curious as to how that was even legal. But, like, I could do it, and I could do it well. It's weird, because you know how playing Mario Kart and so on, you hold down A to accelerate and so on? It was basically like that. Because
You're just playing Mario
No,
Kart in real life.
because essentially there was just a I'm not sure how to describe it, but there was just a switch, like below one of the handlebars, that you just have to push with your thumb, and that was the accelerator. And of course,
Damn.
and its brakes were literally just like a bike's. So just grip the brakes. And we had to like this full course that we did laps around.
Nice.
So yeah.
Speaking of driving shit, I get to do like driver's ed next semester.
Speaking of driving shit, I still don't know how to drive.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that at one point.
But on the other hand, even if I did know how to drive, I don't think I would. Because it's a lot of money to, like, maintain a car. It's like got to do fuel,
Yeah, I guess so.
also parking spaces every fucking day and all that shit. And insurance
yeah.
and so on and so forth.
What I've gathered from your schedule is that you don't have an actual job.
No.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, I'll give that as some golden words of wisdom, like, after I finish saying this. But essentially, I take the bus instead. Excuse me. But I take the bus instead, and I start off by and it's a much, much longer journey. But first off, I get in some exercise because I do some walking to the bus stop. And then I've got all the time on the bus, where if I'm driving, I'll be there much faster, but I will be unable to do anything but drive. Whereas when I'm on the bus, I can attempt to be productive and do other things instead. So I've got so much extra use out of taking the bus. It's just like, okay, I kind of don't want to drive now.
Yeah.
But finally, some words of wisdom for these last 3 minutes. When I started my A-levels, I had an assembly with our head teacher, and he gave us a scenario. Imagine 3 people, one of which, when they finish their schoolwork for the day, goes home and then goes out on parties and gets drunk all night every night. Then imagine a second person who, when they go home, they then go out and spend all night working on a job and are absolutely exhausted. And the third person goes home and studies. The thing is, only one of those people is actually going to do good in their grades. Because, whether it's partying or having a job, you are actively taking away from time you can spend studying and tiring yourself out. So, with that in mind, that has also helped push me away from having a job while also having uni. Because it means if I do need to study, I can.
Yeah.
And basically it just stops me from being... I'm already fucking exhausted by the time I get home, usually on from walking to and from, well, just the walk alone to the bus stop can really tire me out, especially on a long day where I'm already tired out mentally. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that whenever I get home from school.
So yeah. Sometimes, depending on your family, depending on your situation, you might need to take a job when you're younger. So you might need to start earning money. But if you're in a position where you don't need to and no one's forcing you to, it might be better to not. just because that way you don't get your lot. That way you can focus on the one important thing. Anyway.
I think that's a great note to end it off on.
Indeed.
If you're done.
Yes, I am indeed done.
Well, this has been the first official,
Official, yes. Great shit, we should end it right now. We've just ticked over the 2-hour mark.
Fuck! Goddamn it with the name! Well, we've already gone past it.
Breakfast waffles
the
and
first-
midnight spaghetti.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been the first episode of the Midnight... Breakfast Waffles and Midnight Spaghetti podcast.
Yes.
With me as your host, and Electro Spaghetti as my co-host.
Yes, indeed.
And we will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye. I like how that never shows up on Discord. Never picks that up, but like I just hold the word E for like a good solid 5 seconds.